Go right ahead, Tony.
Okay.
Fire away.
If you will, raise your hands, and we'll call on you. All right, we'll start with Larry Vaught. Larry, go ahead, please.
Hey, Mark, how are you today?
I'm okay, Larry. How you doing?
Okay. Just curious, when you've got a team, you've been going through the pandemic and everything like that, which has changed everything. You've got a team that hadn't played to the expectations that I know they had. What's it just like right now, confidence-wise, morale-wise, and everything, what you're trying to do with this team where they keep holding on to that rope for you?
Yeah, I don't anticipate any problems there. I think, I know all the work that we've done for years and developing the leadership, it's there. I'm disappointed with the results. I know some of the players are, and we've got to just keep on working. But I don't have any fear that the guys, will lay down in any way, shape, or form. We needed some time off. They got that on the front end of this week to heal up. Anytime you play 6 straight conference games, certainly takes its toll mentally and physically. So the bye comes at a good time. They needed some rest, but we had a good spirited practice out there today, and we'll continue to do that the rest of the week to look to improve. And I think that's what the players are looking for, and certainly that's what we're doing, looking to improve this week.
Okay, only got one question in the queue, so if you want to ask Coach a question, you need to jump on in. At this time, we'll call on John Wong.
Hey, Mark. Everybody gets upset at the offensive coordinator when the offense kind of sputters. Eddie's been getting hammered in the media and by the fans alike. As his head coach, do you think that criticism is fair?
Well, it goes with the territory, John. We don't fair or not fair. It's not for me to say because it is what it is. That's never going to change. We understand that goes with the job, and we accept some of that criticism and responsibility. There's no question. That's on us. Eddie, if Eddie was sitting right here, what would he say? He said, that's on me. I'll get it fixed. And, that's what we try to do, I promise you. It's my job as the head coach to make sure all aspects of the program are moving forward, and we're certainly falling short in a few areas there. So it needs to be addressed. But as far as the criticism or dealing with that, that's not for me to say whether it's fair or not fair. It's just it goes with the territory. We need to concentrate on ourselves and get better, and that's the truth, and that's what we've been doing.
Okay, Nick Roush.
I could also add to that, John, I could promise you Eddie's a big boy. He's coached in this league and has thick skin, has been around a long time, I can promise you. And we're disappointed, but I can promise you nothing's going to rattle him or me. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, Nick Roush.
Or Nick?
Is Terry healthy enough to practice this week?
He is. He was out there today.
And just moving forward with how are you splitting up reps this week? How are you approaching the quarterback position?
We will see as the week goes on. They all got good reps today. We had to go back, and we really, had time to self-scout ourselves, go back and look in the summer, look in camp, look at the reps we had banked, what we were doing good, what each quarterback was executing well, and really took a good hard look at ourselves, and went back and reintroduced some concepts and looked better out there throwing today. I thought all 3 guys looked better. We looked better in general. So, we're going to work hard on ourselves this week. And, it's not worth me commenting on that right now. All 3 guys are working hard.
Lee Howard.
Mark, kind of along those lines of working hard on what you've been doing, with extra time at bye week, how much, not just for the quarterbacks, but for the whole team, how much is working on to improve what you've been doing to be better at it, and how much of it is maybe implementing some new stuff to try with this extra time?
Yeah, definitely a little of each. Continue to build and improve on the things we're doing well. In the areas we're falling short, and we all know it's our passing game needs improvement, and there's no getting around that. I thought the guys worked really hard today, And part of that was going back and, again, seeing what the quarterbacks were able to execute, what they like, see what we were executing well, what we have reps banked in maybe through camp and through preseason, and what we've actually called in games. And so that's kind of what we're going back and looking at. Some new stuff, yes, some, and how we dress it up, how we present it, how we execute the routes and what we're doing. But we're trying to get 5, 6, 7 concepts and maybe do them different ways where the quarterbacks can grab onto and get better and improve. The same with the offense.
Jeff Drummond.
Hey, Mark, I was curious how Quentin has been progressing, and during this time where you guys played without him, was it kind of magnified kind of how important he is in the middle of the whole thing? Setting the tone.
Yeah, Jeff. He is getting better. I know he's anxious to get back. He really, he tells me he's going to be back. He's still rehabbing. Was not out there today. I think he's close. Hopefully he'll be out there at the end of this week or next. And it's we miss him because of his leadership and his presence. I will say I've been impressed with Marquand. I mean, he's not perfect, but he's played extremely hard for his teammates and for himself, and really tried to step up. And he's done that in many occasions. He's really done some good things. So if we could get both of them back and playing at a high level, it would obviously help us.
Larry Vaught.
Mark, do you spend this week trying to figure a way to get more or to look more at some young players, or just to give them some reps in practice, or do you just kind of keep on what you're doing and not worry about that?
No, you definitely do, Larry. Definitely getting those guys reps. We got them reps today in all segments of practice, whether it be team run, 7-on-7 team, so on. All different aspects. Those guys are getting looks, and they will continue to get looks this week. Tomorrow, I may cut it loose and have a scrimmage with those kids and let them turn it completely loose, just because if they haven't had many game snaps, it's a little different. We're not having full scale tackling and so on, and going full tilt. So we'll look at that, but there's a good chance I'm going to put those guys in a scrimmage tomorrow at the end of practice, just to get them some full speed reps. But yes, to answer your question, we're looking at them and developing those guys as we go along.
John Clay.
Mark, when you're talking about McCall, when you go back and self-scout and look at what you've done up to this point, are there other guys who have stuck out to you who are playing really well, who've impressed you?
Well, certainly I think, Phil and Josh, when Josh Pascal's healthy, he is a real difference maker. He's been playing out there banged up, so this week was greatly needed for him. But Josh is really playing at a high level. I think Phil is really doing some good things as well. Yusuf is playing good. So, outside linebacker, they're really good players. We expect a lot of those guys. They've had their moments, but overall, defensively, he's playing pretty solid. With the exception of a couple drives there in the Missouri game. So inconsistency. We always expect more, I guess, to answer your question.
Nick Roush.
Well, a lot has been made about what's the problems of the offense, and you kind of said that it's hit on every level. But what are some of the solutions that you all are trying to look to, whether it be schematically or fundamentally, to try to solve those problems?
Well, I think definitely, you have to look at ourselves. We're looking at schematically what we're calling, when we're calling it. Are we putting our players in a position to be successful? When do we have the best opportunity to create explosive plays? Again, if you look at, just this past Saturday, none of us are happy with 3 points on the board. I was happy with certain drives against, again, arguably the best defense in the country. They covered us up. They covered up some shots. We tried to get the ball down the field. We didn't get it done. We need to. Those are the type of teams that don't give you anything easy. You have to fit it in a small window, give your receivers an opportunity to make a big play. It looks like they're covered all the time, but we have to anticipate and give them an opportunity once in a while. But also going back and, us schematically going back to what we were doing well in the past game early in the season, because certainly, it seems like, the past couple games, obviously we've regressed, and that can't happen. We got to go back, and I thought they looked really good today, much better. And so it's a combination of things. Certainly it's us. It's schematically what can we do. Let's put them in position to be successful. Let's give them some options that the quarterbacks like. We have to present and give them formations where we could create space for the wide receivers. And we have to get open and make competitive catches as well. And we have to protect. I think it's fair to say we've been such a physical team, such a good running team, that we haven't exactly protected the way I expect to as well. And, maybe that comes with opportunity, and we got to continue to work on that, and it all goes hand in hand.
As a follow-up, do you have to evaluate Joey's performance on a curve because it was against the Georgia defense?
Absolutely. Yeah. Tony, am I still on? Everything went out. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My TV went completely out there. Yeah, I think there's no doubt that, it was going to be tough sledding for anybody that plays against Georgia. Certainly with the way we've been one-dimensional offensively, it was going to be a tough situation. There's no doubt about it. Yes.
Lee Howard?
I'm assuming since the pandemic has really kind of changed how everything operates this year, that also applies to the bye week. So I'm just wondering, in a normal bye week, you might be out recruiting or doing some things, going to some high school football games. Just wondering how this week changes for you personally and maybe the coaches, and maybe will you have an opportunity to actually sit down and watch some college football this weekend?
It does change it for us a bit. Like I said, we had our time off early in the week, but we had so much work to do. We were in here Sunday. We had to get in and get diving into ourself, and again doing self-scout, taking a good hard look at ourselves schematically and what we're doing, and again building on the good things and trying to improve in the areas where we're falling short. So we had a lot of work to do coaching-wise. We did that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then got back on the field today. So it changes us a bit. We're going to practice, which I've wanted to do this on other bye weeks, but it's hard. Our players enjoy a week off or weekend off and get to go home and watch some football. But since you cannot do that, and I wanted to keep them here, we're going to practice Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So that's a touch different, and it's good for us because it gives them the time on the front end, but it gives us 3 really good work days, so we're not as much time off, and hopefully with timing and execution and things of that nature, it won't set us back with having a long weekend off. So we will practice Friday, and then, yes, we will enjoy a day off, give the coaches some time off Saturday so they can spend it with their families and watch some football and try to get a little time away, at least one day. That's the one day they get off all year. So.
Okay, got time for 2 more questions. Jeff Drone and Kent Spencer. First one will be from Jeff.
Yeah, Mark, kind of a follow-up on Nick's question to you about schematics and that type of thing. Do you guys, when you're doing your self-scout, do you go back beyond this season when you're looking for answers and solutions, or is it mostly trying to find out what fits this particular bunch?
We do if it relates to concepts. We would if we go back and start picking concepts maybe that we were running and executing well in camp, and then we'd go pull maybe game reps from this year or last year. That's the only time we would go back and reference certain games. Well, I shouldn't say that. We do, yeah, we always go back and look at games. For instance, we're coming up to play Vanderbilt. We always go back and look at that game, and Georgia last week and so on. So we use that as a reference point every year if there's a history there. But as far as our cut-ups, we may if it relates to certain concepts that we're trying to dig into.
Okay, we'll wrap up, Coach, with Kent Spencer.
Mark, you talked about the ability to throw the ball down the field and take shots. Out of your receiving group, who do you feel good about, guys who can get down the field and stretch the defense there?
Well, we definitely with Josh and AD, I think are guys that, Alan Daly and Josh Ali are guys that could get down the field. We got to look at Isaiah and continue to bring him along. Bryce is getting back. He had a hamstring, which we all know those really set you back, and he's trying to get back up to top speed. He's closer and closer. He should be there by the time we play a week from Saturday. So hopefully he could give us a little shot in the arm there as well.
All right, Coach, thank you very much for your time.
Okay.
And